What's going on, guys? Middle Tokusatsu here, and today we're taking a look at the Wave 1 figures for Power Rangers Dino Fury. Now, I picked these up in my local Walmart just a couple of days ago, and I kind of wonder why they didn't include green and black in this release, because it's not too long before they actually do show up in the show proper. But as of right now, this is everyone we have, and so far we have our Red Ranger Zato, our Pink Ranger Amelia, and our Blue Ranger Ali. And then, strangely enough, because he's not even in the show yet, we have Boom Tower. So, just like with the Lightning Collection reviews, I know we haven't done any mainline figure reviews in quite some time, but we'll take a look at the box art, look at the figures themselves, their articulation, and accessories, and we'll just go from there. So, for box art, we're going to start off with Red here. So, starting off, you have some box art on the front there of Red himself, the Power Rangers logo on the bottom there, continuing the trend of having the franchise logo down here and the season's name up here for Dino Fury. Then going to the back, you have a shot of Red on the back there, and then showing you how the key works in the morpher, which we'll show off as well. Then coming to Pink, same thing, artwork, logo, figure and key on the back. And of course, nothing on the bottom apart from legal mumbo jumbo. Sorry. And then Boom Tower has his own key as well. So with that being said, let's get them open. So naturally, we'll start off with Red here, and out of box, this is a great looking figure. Like, it just, I don't know if it's like the lighting or just like the figure itself, but like it's just like glowing right now. Like, all the detail just looks absolutely gorgeous on him. And it seemed like they didn't miss a beat. I mean, paint wise, there's some paint on the morpher missing, but that's really no big deal. Even though, if I remember, the Beast Morphers figures had their morphers painted, so that's questionable. And then when it comes to accessories, you get a power key, which goes in the morpher, as well as the future Megazord releases whenever we get them. Even though I'm sure that they're going to have their own keys as well, and these are kind of like just extra. And then also his sword, which herein lies like my first kind of like nitpick slash kind of major issue with this line, is that the Rangers don't come with their proper sword weapons or their Ryusoukens for you Sentai fans out there. And that's kind of a bummer, because like that is like their main weapon that they're always seen using in most fights. And it just doesn't really make sense not to have them included with the figures. So that's kind of a big miss there. And then when it comes to articulation, looks like it starts at the knee here, so not as much as Lightning Collection figures, but that's to be expected. Leg can go out, and it can also go out this way as well. And I was kind of afraid at first, because the leg joints here are so stiff at first, you almost have to like force it out just to get them to move. And I was afraid at first that those joints may not have been there, and he just would have had, you know, forward leg motion. But thankfully that's not the case, because I had to check the back of the box to make sure I could pose him right. And I was like, okay, so I just gotta. But after that, you're good. So no issues there. And then as for the rest of articulation, you have a arm swivel, elbow joint, shoulder movement, and a ball jointed head. Kind of look up and down and side to side. And before we move on, we'll take a look real quick at his key in the morpher. So we'll just turn them on there. Make sure it's on. put the key in sticker side, and morph. So it kind of changes up the jingle from the key you get with the morpher. I'm not sure what this means for Red, but it kind of sounds like surf music almost. So moving on to blue here, the male body mold is the same exact as Red, so we're going to kind of skip articulation in that aspect and more so just focus on the difference between the helmets, because as you see, the top of his helmet is painted silver as opposed to the blue that we see on the box here, and even in a rendering of the figure on the back there. So I'm not quite sure what caused them to change that up. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I thought it was worth pointing out. So his accessories are these two Triceratops daggers. Once again, original weapons, and I have no idea why they left out the sword. And then his Dino Theory key, which we'll try in the morpher right now. What is that? And you get these wibbly wobbly motion sound effects, so the morpher doesn't talk at all. Now, I wonder why they just left sound effects in here as opposed to having like an actual voice actor make sounds for it. But what can you do? And then we have our Pink Ranger. So for articulation, I'll show her because she's a different female body mold. And then continuing with the trend of Beast Morphers Yellow from last year, they made the skirt malleable enough to allow her proper leg movement. And she can even kind of go back a little bit, unlike the male figures. So you have your leg swivel down here, knee bend, leg movement as I just showed, arm swivel, elbow joint, shoulder, and ball jointed head. So with Amelia, you get her main weapon, which is some kind of mace. Once again, not a sword. And then her key. So we're just bringing the morpher. This thing's really finicky. It's like sometimes you gotta like turn it the wrong way just to activate this. There you go. And that's it. And last but not least, we have Boom Tower. Now, I haven't seen too much of this costume in Youth Soldier, but this looks like a perfectly fine figure on its own. And strangely enough, he's the only one that comes with his proper weapon. And of course, you get a key as well, which we'll put in the morpher right now. Okay. What? Okay, that's really stupid. Let's try and morph. It's kind of a hip-hop jingle. Yeah, but those fart sounds are like already stupid. Like, I thought we were past that. Yeah, I thought we were past fart jokes. I mean, I guess in the show we are, but they had to add it here. And that's really stupid. But it's just the key. I'm not going to harp on it. So wave 1 of the Dino Fury figure line is definitely good, but it's the lack of the proper sword that keeps me from giving it top billing. So I hope that's an issue that Hasbro can address later down the line. Like maybe they can do some kind of like replacement program like they did with Dino Thunder White, to where they could ship out extra swords to anyone that may have bought the figures. Or maybe even include extra swords when they release Green and Black so it evens itself out. So if I had to rate this out of 5, I'd probably give them maybe a 4 out of 5, like just because of the swords missing. But apart from that, that's about all I have. So as always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to like my Facebook page at Mills Tokusatsu. We're also on Twitter and Instagram. And this is Mills Tokusatsu, signing out.